Sainsmart box. Pretty heavy. I won't lie. It is pretty heavy, but it was fairly easy to open and move around, and it looks well packaged. The foam is dense foam, so it's not cheap. And look at this. We've got a nice manual. I hope it's color. Oh, yep. I think it is. Yep, sure enough. Yep, there we go. So it's got nice images. Looks really neat and easy to read. A little welcome package looks like with a warranty card, and it looks like they have a discount card in there. Now here we have the baffles that go on either side of the platform itself. They're not structural, they're plexiglass, but they look really nice, and they're blue, just like the rest of the things. Looks like we got some cables over here, and sure enough, yep, there we go. We've got a USB cable. Oh, geez, I'm so glad they included that. And yep, here we go. All these cables are labeled. They look like the limit switches cables, the stepper motors, and the spindle. A little more foam here, and look at this. This is awesome. They've included a parts box. Looks like, yep, the blue paper is actually labeling what goes where and what is what. That's awesome. We got some tools. Sure enough, yep, screws, parts. We'll dig into that later, but for now, let's just put that to the side. Now let's see what else we got here. Looks like we've got some more foam to take out of the way. I love how well they package this. This is really good. Sure enough, we've got some cables here for the power supply. This does look like a beefy power supply, and let me check here. Sure enough, it is. Yep, it's pretty heavy. It looks well constructed with good thick cabling. It's a 24-volt system, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's really good. Next up here is the controller board. Now we're not going to get into specifics of the controller board, but the controller board here is basically used to control all the stepper motors, the limit switches, the spindle itself. It's already pre-mounted on a nice little housing of some sort. That makes it a lot easier. Has a VGA port, USB, and a power port. Not sure what that's for, but we're going to find out, aren't we? And look at this. I didn't know that it actually had this inside the box, but they included some bits. These look like really fine bits, but we'll find out later. This looks like some cable management, and wow, this sucker's heavy. Yeah, this is the spindle. Looks like it's really beefy and well constructed. Glad to see that. Another surprise. All right, we got a Phillips screwdriver. All right, that's good. That's good. Now, this guy here gave me some trouble getting out of the box and out of the foam because it's so heavy, but it's also really well packaged. And sure enough, yeah, this is really heavy. It's made from aluminum, so it's all metal except for the part where the spindle is. That's plastic. But it's already pre-constructed. That tells me that we're probably going to put together 20 screws and we're done. But yeah, this thing is, you could knock somebody out with this thing. And what are these blue things here? I'm not quite sure, but we'll put them to the side and we'll find out what it is later. Some more foam to remove. And we got to remove some more foam. All right, what else we got here? This looks like the lower platform. Yep, it's already pre-assembled. Oh, this is really great. It's really hard to get out of this box. It's so well packaged, but this looks like it's the build platform, the lower frame, the stepper motor. Yep, the build platform's snug on there with the tie wrap so it doesn't move around. That's really good. They have some nuts on the side here. That's probably where the upper part goes, and they're already pre-installed. Really good packaging, guys. Really good. And here is a really quick look at the manual itself. You can see it's all clearly illustrated, colors, well described. It's got step-by-step instructions for every step of the way. One thing that I like about this is that they separated it basically into two parts. One is for mechanical and one is for electrical. Towards the end of this instruction book, you basically have troubleshooting guides and some quick diagrams. That's about it. Here we have the actual controller board. This board is what controls the entire CNC machine. It's got all the connectors along the side. As you can see, we've got some all over the place. Those are for the actual spindles and for the stepper motors. What I really like about this board is that it has a nice on and off switch, plus it comes pre-mounted. So again, these are the stepper motors and the spindles. These look like they're for accessories. I believe they have some manual accessories you can plug in there. And these are for your limit switches and your kill switches. And I believe, yep, well, that's your on and off switch, obviously. And here you have a VGA port, a USB, and a power. Now, you're not going to get video out of this. That's for an auxiliary or an optional accessory. The rotary encoder actually is for that. What I really like about this board is that it already came pre-mounted. Here are the holes where you actually mount it onto the platform. You can't mess this one up. It just screws right in, and it's pretty straightforward. Now this is the primary spindle. It's a 775 motor, 12 volt, 24 volt, and it spins at 9,000 RPMs. You can upgrade this to a 20,000 RPM motor, but again, this is well built. It comes with everything you need, the collet, the adapter, everything. So these are the engraving bits that come with the CNC machine. They're all the same. These are, I believe, 1/8 inch engraving bits. Generally, you use these for fine engraving, PCB milling. It's pretty straightforward. The nice thing is it comes with these socks that protect the tips. Got to be careful with these things. They're very delicate. But that's about it. Here we have the parts box that came with the Sainsmart. As you can see, it's a plastic box. It has a piece of paper in there that basically labels each compartment inside the box itself. Once you get the box open, sorry I had a little trick there with my gloves, but once you get it open, now you can see how everything is clearly labeled. This is really good. No more confusing plastic baggies of screws and nuts and bolts and everything else. You can never figure out what is what, especially by, when they try to put a picture of it next to each other. Here we've got some wrenches. Those wrenches are going to be used for the spindle itself. So, essentially, you're going to have to use these wrenches and keep them handy, either these or your own, in order to get the bits in and out of the actual spindle itself. So you put them in and you put it on the front nut and on the actual base of the collet, I believe, or of the chuck, and that'll unscrew it and screw it back in. Now here you have what's used to level the actual spindle or position, you'll get the calibration down packed. You'll have a bit inside the spindle, you'll put the alligator clip on the bit, and that bit will lightly touch that metal piece using your software. Don't do it manually. This piece is important because you could wind up damaging your spindle, your bit, or your bed, or anything else you're working on. USB stick, that's where all your software is, and manuals, and examples, and model files. Keep that handy, don't lose it. This part here, very important. It's a kill switch. A lot of these lower end or lower cost tools don't include that, and it's important to have that. Yet another good thing, Allen keys. So now we have all the tools we need to assemble the entire product. This is good. That means you don't have to have any tools at home or in the office or in your lab to do this. It comes with everything out of box. Recall earlier we showed that we had a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver. Now we have the Allen keys, and it looks like all those screws are exactly Allen key based. So that's a good thing to have. Sorry about that. I'm having a little trouble trying to close this box, but these gloves don't make it any easier. And there you go.